Hi everyone, welcome back to The Learning Gardener. If you haven't been here before, my name is Pip, and today we've got a lot of odd jobs to get done in the garden, and I want to get done as much as is physically possible because my mum leaves tomorrow and she's currently inside with my very angry baby. So we need to try and do everything we can physically get done today. So we're going to start with this bed. This bed needs a complete clean out. It's mostly just weeds and random self-seeded sweet peas at this point, and I want to put down some new soil on top and fertilize it and mulch it up and sow some seeds in it, because anytime I've planted seedlings, except for onions and spinach and the brassicas, so broccoli and cauliflower, we have lost them to old mate Ratatouille or Mousy McMouseface this season. So they've killed all my peas, even the ones they haven't dug down and eaten the seed off. They've now eaten the top off. So I'm thrilled. So we need to get some things planted. There is a bit of a mess here that I want to try and deal with. It's potatoes I forgot about, but they've resprouted, but I think that might be where the mouse is habitating because the dogs are over here a lot. So I want to kind of clean that out as we sort out this zone. But in here I thought I would sow more seeds and then cover them with the shade cloth again, because that worked really nicely. None of the lettuce seeds that I sowed before came up, so we need to do that. I want to do way more spinach, and whatever else we can find to get going in here. Back here we have a potato bed, and I just laid this on top of it just to stop the autumn leaves that I put on top from blowing off while we had some heavy rain, and I was hoping that was going to be enough to weigh the leaves down because I just didn't have time to deal with it. Well, it wasn't quite enough to stop the leaves from blowing off, so we need to put some sugarcane mulch on top of that and just move that metal structure that was holding things down. The bed behind it has some spent spinach and spent radishes and things like that, and some beets that the leaves are healthy but the beets underneath them. So we need to pull all that, give it to the chickens, and sow some more stuff in there so that we can finally get some produce going, not for lack of trying, but we need to get some going. And whilst there are a million other things I would like to do, given that Patty is cranky today, I don't know how we're going to go time-wise. So the other thing that we must get done today is to sort out this strawberry bed. So we did pull all the tarp and everything off to see if Mousy McMouseface or Ratatouille was living under here. They were not, but what I have discovered is that the mallow didn't completely die back. There's still little tiny bits of it because I didn't bother pulling this out. So while we're still in winter, I want to take all this out and then lay the cardboard back down to smother the mallow, and then put the tarp back over the top of it for another 6 weeks so that we can have this fully mallow free before spring. I would actually kind of like to do the same thing to the bed over because it's been invaded by a different weed that I just cannot get rid of. There's only so many hours in the day, so let's get stuck in and just try and get as much done as possible. There are other garden beds I'd like to plant up and clean out if we get a chance. There are roses that need pruning, roses that have for some reason bloomed and need to be taken inside so we can actually enjoy them inside. And there's always plenty of stuff to do. So we're going to start over there along the fence line on those 3 garden beds and get cracking. So hopefully we can get things a little bit more buttoned up. What I am enjoying is just off to the side here, we've actually got some stock in bloom, which is amazing, and there's these 2 are about to pop as well. So I'd like to cut this one and take it inside, and I'd like to cut the snapdragons that are in bloom and take them inside and just make a nice little bouquet so that things feel a little bit perkier inside on a grumpy baby day. But we've got a lot more to do before we do any of this, and I just am looking at the gross spiderweb native dichondra that has just taken over through here, and it's a pretty ground cover, but it's a bit of a mess. But we need to deal with some of these things that we can enjoy inside and perk me up on a day like today. And we actually have some of this self-seeding around the side of the house, which is great. I'm really, really happy because this stuff smells amazing. But first, we have to do cleanup jobs and sowing jobs before we can do any enjoying flower jobs. we managed to sort out all 3 beds along here. We've got some onions and some coriander down the end here just to fill in that space. They must be garlic that I didn't dig up last year, but they're looking fine, so we'll just leave them. These carrots are doing really well, so again, we're just going to leave them because also they're the only carrots that I have sown that have got to this point. They're not the only ones that have germinated, but in this process, I've discovered that we have quite a bit of slug pressure at the moment, and I think that explains some of the loss of the carrot seedlings that emerged over the other side. I thought it was just, neglect from me not really being outside. And I found a couple of leeches too, so that was a fun discovery. But we have also planted Waltham broccolis in here. We've got another volunteer garlic situation here, and we put 1 yellow pansy in at the end just because it needed somewhere to go, and this is where I'm working. So the next thing we've got to do is work with some more of last season's garlic. We've got some leftover garlic from last season that has started to sprout inside, which is not ideal. I did intend on using it, especially when we got a lot of really small heads of garlic this season, so I wanted to use all the good ones. I used a lot of them, but I just have not had the time and freedom of arms to use the rest. And so we're going to plant the ones that have sprouted, even though we are halfway through winter and it's a little bit late, but we are going to make the most of them. And maybe you can tell in this bed where we planted a couple of different varieties, we had a lot that rotted out because it rained really shortly after I planted the garlic, and it rained very heavily for quite a few days, and the garlic had emerged and was looking really happy, and then started looking really dead pretty soon after that. So I hope I haven't just ruined these pants. So what we're going to do is we're going to just go around to this bed, and I think we'll have to hit the other bed where a few others died, and we're just going to pop these little garlic in. No idea what variety. They appear to all be a red variety, so we'll just pop them in and hopefully we get some tasty garlic from them. They might take a little bit longer than all of this to mature, but if they fill in for the ones that died, it's a win. was so close to getting everything done, but the camera battery died. So I've covered the garden bed as much as I humanly can with a tarp. It's like a tiny bit too short for like ideal drapeage, but it's better than a kick in the pants. I'm shocked that in 2 to 3 weeks how many weeds have started to re-emerge. It's been covered for months, yes, not perfectly because I couldn't get perfect coverage around the poles, and I was trying to avoid having to take the poles out when I was pregnant, number one, because I was trying to avoid any unnecessary jobs when I was pregnant, and I didn't want to have to put them back in once the baby arrived. And we're going to have to do something completely different because of the rodent pressure, so we just took it out. But hopefully another couple of weeks with total coverage we'll see the weed cells that were germinating. Whoa, dude, I'm allergic, go away. But hopefully with another couple of weeks of coverage, the seeds that were germinating and the mallow that was starting to re-emerge will die off completely. And I wet down the cardboard so that it is not hospitable for old mate Ratty, and hopefully that will create like a composting heat reaction and help kill off the weeds. And I'll just have to put some water in there every so often to kind of get it going, and then whatever doesn't get melted down I will put in the compost bins. But then we need to get this area planted back up for spring, but this area is a bit of a mess, so we're going to be doing some more work in this area, just not today because baby's got to be fed, camera battery's got to be recharged, I have to be fed, so there's still a lot to do for today. Oh, that's not outside, but what I'm going to quickly do is cut some flowers to take them inside, and then we are a wrap out here for today. Hope you guys have enjoyed hanging with us. We appreciate you guys being here. Don't forget, if you want to support the channel, you can check us out on Patreon. Thanks so much for being here.
Wishing star when a cold day's gone.